My Boyfriend's Mum Has Got It Going On, written and voiced by Claire Frank. My boyfriend and I have been going strong for a few months, but I've never met his parents. I kept going on about it to him, like, are you ashamed of me? He just snapped the other day and said, no, my mum's pretty crazy these days. She didn't used to be like it, but she's just kind of fallen off the rails a bit. I think it might be dementia or something. Her age showing out. Thought she can't be that old, and I'd love to meet her and I could deal with crazy. I mean, she can't be much worse than me. He exhales and is like, you don't even know. Before we get to her door, he says just to be really, really lovely to the dog. You won't like him, but just be nice to him because she loves him. So it's alright, I love dogs, so that shouldn't really be a problem. Opens the door and the first thing that runs over to me is this little rat dog that's missing most of its fur. It's a little chihuahua yapping and like, I try and go down to let it smell me. It's just nipping at my hands. And I don't know if it's playful or not, but it looks a bit devilish. And his eyes look like it's popping out of its face. She takes a good 5 seconds to get up from the couch and walks over, all confused, like, were we meant to be here? Then she looks over at the food she prepared and goes, oh yeah. Like she'd forgotten in a moment, in a blink. We sit straight down, no drinks, no nothing, and just start eating. She goes, it's lovely to meet you again. He goes, Mum, nah, you haven't met her. She goes, oh, she just looks like the rest then. And I think, the rest, right? I'm here because she's a bit crazy and he's obviously had a few of my type. And he goes, the only person you've met is Darla and she was black. And Mum goes, oh yeah, that's right. You're not Lindsay, are you? I think, no, I'm not. This is crazy. She thinks I'm his sister. We literally just kissed when we were in the hallway and she was watching. I mean, it's not normal to kiss your sister, is it? She's right off the rails. But I still try and be nice. And I try not to kick the dog, even though I really want to, because it's just humping my leg constantly whilst we eat. Just so annoying. We get to dessert and it's Jello on ice cream. She goes, it's your favourite. And he takes a deep breath in and out. And I thought, I didn't know that. And he's like, yeah, it was my favourite when I was like 3. I mean, come on, babe, you're probably like 10. He goes, yeah, but still. And she's eaten and she dazes off and forgets she's got company. And then comes back to the room. It's honestly the weirdest thing ever. I mean, it doesn't feel real. I think it's definitely dementia. And something else. She's got proper vertigo as well. Can't stand up for 2 minutes without having to sit down. Anyway, I really don't get on with the dog, and when tea and coffee comes out, I kind of lose it a bit and give him a little bit of a shove. Just a little bit, because he is a tiny little rat thing. And he kind of gets up, but not really, and kind of waddles to the side, and then he just lies there. Nobody realises what I've done because it was under the table and they were both busy trying to talk about things in a linear way, because it's all about the place with the conversation. And my heart drops. I think I've just finished off her dog, the thing she loves most in life. I don't know what to do. I don't really say anything and I'm really shocked. And we're about to leave. And I think I've kind of gotten away with it in a twisted way. And I feel like bursting out and crying. And we get to the other side of the door. And a little tear falls down. And he says, I told you so. She's a bit nuts. And I go, no, it's not that. It just goes, yeah, I know it's too much. I know. I shouldn't have brought you here. I should have insisted. And then I try and say, no, it's not. But then his mum screams. Like a loud, painful shriek. Like she's dying or something. My boyfriend's panicking. He thinks something's really wrong. And I want to say, oh, it's the dog, babe. But I can't. I just freeze. And I'm like shaking. I feel like the Chihuahua now, vulnerable and little, with pointy ears that's ready to hit everything and take it all in and then bark my case. Anyway, turns out it was fine. Maybe it's just because it's old too. When we got to the vets looked over and it was up again and wagging its tail and trying to hump me again. So they just went home. Anyway, that night she calls him and says, I'm the devil, that they should never see me again. They, yeah. She talks about her dog like it's a proper person. Just rants off. And she accuses me of doing it. Of course, she is kind of right. Anyway, it's been a long day and we're both absolutely shattered with all the events going on. But it makes me think about it. It's a bit odd that both her and the little rat thing struggled to stand. Struggled to make sense of things. Because that house gave me proper crazy vibes. I mean, I was only in there for like 2 hours and felt a bit dizzy too. So I Google it. Then it gets to me. It's an old house with everything old school, like. It looks like something that should be in a museum very soon, you know. Everything is outdated and looks on the rougher used side. So I think to myself, it could be carbon monoxide poisoning, and order one of those machines and put a battery in and everything, and then I send it through to her. Because I'm not going to go up there in person now. She'll probably take an axe to my head. I mean, to her, I was mean to the one true love of her life, that little thing. Anyway, it turns out she calls the police on me because she thinks I've sent her a bomb. And on the phone she says, it's beeping, it's beeping. I'm like, wow, mate, that means you're dying. But she proper calls the police. She doesn't even read the letter or the instructions or looks at the actual machine to see what it is. Well, the police come round and they check it out. Bomb squad and everything. They take her dead serious. It's all rather a big joke. Anyway, then they say, oh, and they see it and roll her down to the hospital. Turns out it was carbon monoxide poisoning and she was on her last legs. So I kind of saved her life. And what does she do? Calls the police on me and calls me a terrorist. But not only did I save her life, I saved her dog's life. He would have gone first. But she can't see any of that. Still kind of in denial about it. She doesn't thank me for saving her life or anything. My boyfriend is astounded. He's like, how did you know? I never thought about it. I was just like, well, yeah, she was a bit too off for it to be normal. Jokingly, but also not really. She still thinks I'm a cow and doesn't want anything to do with me. But I think we're both fine with that.